What if every single thing that you're going through right now is a test? What if the devil went up to heaven and told God, look at him down there. Look at all that he could be. Look at all that he has. What if you took it all away? I bet you that he would stop having faith in you. What if that pain that you're going through right now, that misery that you're feeling, that hope for what it is that you want, but that feeling that you're not going to be able to get it, what if it is nothing more than a test of your faith? How much faith do you have? You understand that the thing that you need above all things is faith? You see, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things that are not seen. So, faith is your ability to stay steady on something even though you can't see it until it shows up and the evidence is inside you. Because if you can see something inside of your spirit, then it can be real. You can make it into reality. If you can see something inside of your spirit, then you can make it into reality. And faith is that substance of the thing that you hope for. Faith can be induced. You can make yourself have faith. And in the Bible it says faith comes by hearing. Faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. It's hard sometimes to mix human understanding and the Word of God. But at the end of the day, above all comes God. And whatever I dedicate myself to is in honor of God. Do you know that your life is like an hourglass? And every single second, every single moment, sand drops from the top to the bottom. See, that's the thing. You never know how much sand you have left. The only thing that you can be sure of is this moment. And it's in this moment that you have to do anything in your life. Anything that you're going to experience, anything that you could possibly have is going to come from what you decide to do in this moment. This moment is the only moment that you truly ever have. The past is gone. To look back at the past is a silly thing. To look back at the past is replaying old memories. If you look, you see, you can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror. If you keep looking back at the past, you're going to stay there. You have to understand that life is continuously growing. Life is for fuller expression and fuller expansion. So for you to look backwards is to negate the very clear and simple path of life, and that's to grow. You have to understand that what has happened to you doesn't determine where you can go. That's all in your head. The moment that you believe the lies that are in your head, that's it for you. You cannot believe the lies that are in your head. You have to understand that there's lies in your head and there's hope in your head. Right? There's fears in your head and there's faith in your head. And both of them are believing in things that aren't visible. And you get to make that decision. Every single day you get to make the decision of whether or not you're going to be negative or positive. And it doesn't take more energy to be positive than it does to be negative. If anything, it takes more energy to be negative. Do you know how draining it is to worry, to have doubt? Sometimes you just need to take a deep breath. Stabilize your mind, stabilize your emotions, and realize that there's a power inside you that's looking to expand. If you run fast, you want to run a little bit faster. If you jump high, you want to jump a little bit higher. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. The spirit that's inside of you has perfection in it, and it's looking to incarnate itself through you. It's looking to express itself through you. But you are the one that has to be there for its expression. See, God wants to go through you. There's a power that's coming in and through you. There's a power that's coming in and through you. And you are the vessel which it expresses itself into this external experience. Do you know that every single thing that you're experiencing is a reflection of what's happening inside of you? They say the world without is nothing but a shadow. It's nothing but a shadow. William Blake. You have to understand that your attitude is going to determine how life responds to you, because it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to what happens to you. You see, somebody can come and do something bad towards you, and you can choose to be filled with rage and react in a negative manner, or you can take a deep breath and relax. Right? Because as Viktor Frankl said in A Man's Search for Meaning, people can do everything to you except choose how you react, except define your attitude. They can do anything, but the only thing that they can't do is change the way that you decide to internally think and react to things. See, Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist, was a Jewish psychiatrist, I believe. And he was in the Holocaust, and he was tortured. They brought him in, stripped him of his clothes. He had a manuscript that meant everything in his life, and he tried to hide it in his shoe or his pocket. And they found it. It was all his life's work, and he begged, please, please, please don't take this away from me. Guess what? They took it away from him. They incarcerated him, his family, and most of his family ended up passing away. And still, it didn't break him. It reminds me of the movie, like, Unbreakable, of the soldier who's captured, who's forced to do all sorts of things, but he decides not to break. They put his hands on a wooden pillar, make him do slave work, and he doesn't break inside. See, the last vestige of hope that you have is this. And you can't lose this. You have to understand that people are going through way worse things than you. There's a lot of people out there that are going through terrible things. And you are over here in your house, relaxed, you have a car, you can eat food, your body is still functioning, you can talk, you can see. You understand? And you're choosing to feel miserable when there's somebody out there with no food, there's somebody out there that's living in fear every single day. I remember I was always primed to be as grateful as I possibly could, right? Even to the point where, when I was younger, I was told, don't throw away that food. Make sure you eat your food because there's somebody out there that wishes they could have that bite. And I think that's how you should go through your life. Understanding that there might be somebody that wishes they had what you had. Yes, you should be grateful. It's okay to be unsatisfied, but you should be grateful. You can see, you can talk, you can hear, there's people you can share time with. Even the loneliest person, most of them have a phone. They can reach out to somebody. It's what's happening inside of them that stops them. What's happening inside of you that's stopping you? Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's stopping you is you. There's this power inside of you. There's this being inside of you. There's this spirit inside of you that's crying out to express itself at a higher level. And guess what? You're sitting there holding it down. Why? What are you scared of? That's what's stopping you from doing the things that you really want to do. It's stopping you so much that you might have even convinced yourself to not think bigger. You might have convinced yourself that what you're going through right now is all you can accomplish. Yet silently, there's this voice inside you that says you could be more. And just hearing it sometimes scares you. Just hearing it makes your stomach feel off. Because that would take bravery. It would take bravery to do it. It would take you doing something that isn't familiar. You understand that our minds are designed to make us survive? So it's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle to get where we're at to where we want to go, because we're gonna have to go through all of our fears. They say the cave that you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. And it's true. Did you ever see that motivational video of Will Smith talking about skydiving? He agreed with his friends, we're gonna go skydiving, and he said, yeah. And the day of, he was so scared. I mean, the blood was leaving his lips. He was so scared. But he still went, and he put the parachute on, and he was there, ready to jump, and he regretted everything. But he said the moment that his legs left that plane, the fear was gone. And all he felt was this tremendous sense of freedom as he fell from the sky thousands of feet up. Now, I don't know if I'll go skydiving, but I think there's a lesson in that. And I think there's something to hear inside of that story. You see, because the truth is, when you go for something that you're not used to, you're going to be scared. You're going to be scared. You're used to living your life in a certain way, and it keeps you safe, and your mind has convinced itself that this is what safety is. So the moment that you try and introduce something that's completely against your reality, it's going to be a shock to your mind, and your mind is not going to want you to do something outside of what keeps it safe in its bounds. But the same way that you learn to swim by jumping in and just doing the thing that scared you, you're going to have to crash right through that fear. And you have to understand that sometimes the fear doesn't go away. A lot of times the fear doesn't go away, but it's in knowing why the fear is there that you can continue forward. And the fear is there because you're doing something that you're not used to. The fear is there because you're going against what your mind has convinced itself is survival. You see, that's how you grow from where you're at to where you want to go. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how successful you think you are. The moment that you want more, you're going to have to go through this trial. You're going to have to go through this test. You're going to have to leave what's comfortable and go in the direction that you want. And sometimes it's going to be like closing your eyes and taking a step forward, not knowing if the step is there, but letting your foot land anyways, and realizing that there is going to be something to catch you. You see, everything's always going to be okay in the end. That's what I've realized. Everything's going to be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's because it's not the end. You have to have faith. Without faith, you will not move forward. If you don't have faith, then you'll stay where you're at. Because it takes courage. It takes courage to move in that direction. You think that this is easy for me? I mean, I was the most self-conscious person that you could ever imagine. So that's why I know it's possible. Because if I'm doing this, the thing that I've feared the most throughout so much of my life, if I'm doing this, which is a big step, just being here in front of this camera and speaking, if I'm doing this, then it's possible to overcome your fears. You see, I didn't believe in myself. I don't know what it was, but I didn't believe in myself. And so I had to go on a journey to see if I could change that. I had to go on a journey to change that. Because if there's somebody that didn't believe in themselves more than me, if there's someone that was more self-confident or less self-confident than me, like, I didn't know them. I mean, I did everything to look the best that I possibly could, and the reflection in the mirror, I was never proud of that person. I never felt secure in that person, no matter how good I looked, no matter how close to what I thought perfection I could get to, no matter how lean I got, no matter how muscular, no matter how X, Y, and Z I got, I never felt confident in the person that I saw. There was always something missing. There was always something wrong. And so I realized that I needed to go on a journey to change that. I needed to figure out what is it that will change that feeling of what's missing inside of me. How can I be full? How can I fill that void? And what I've realized over time is that when you put importance onto the things outside of yourself, you become less relevant to you. You see, the biggest reason why you feel self-conscious, the reason why you feel self-conscious is because you're putting so much attention onto yourself. There's a couple things that changed my life, a lot of things that changed my life, but one that comes to my mind is Bob Proctor was trying to learn how to speak on stage, and so he went and he found somebody that was really good at speaking on stage, and he asked him, hey, what's the secret? And he said, and the man told Bob, he said, when you go on stage, he said, forget about you and realize that it's all about the message. It's all about the message that you want to give to these people, because the people out there are what's important, not you. You see, shifting the focus on others instead of me made a big difference in my life. Accepting myself, realizing that nobody's perfect, that I'm not perfect. As much as I try, realizing that I shouldn't even make that something that's important to me. Right? reading books, reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. It made me realize I was taking the wrong approach. I was trying to be interesting instead of interested. But this is the thing. In order to get to any of these answers, I had to have faith that I could change. But that's the thing. There were signs. And you know what the signs were? That other human beings had in possession what I wanted. And sometimes it's not material things that people have. Sometimes it's the way that they're speaking. Sometimes it's the way that they're carrying themselves. Sometimes it's their confidence. Sometimes it's their ability to communicate. And that's the thing. I had signs. I had signs that it was possible. Because I realized that we're all created in a similar fashion. We're all given similar powers. It's just based on how we use them. So if this person was able to create their reality to be in this way internally, then I could replicate what it is that they were doing, what it is that they were thinking. They say if you walk, if you talk, if you think, if you smell, and if you hear the same way as somebody else, you're going to be getting exactly what it is that they're getting. If you do all those things, you're going to be getting exactly what it is that that person is getting. I mean, but this is the thing. The people that you admire is only a reflection of what it is that's inside of you. So you can think that you're copying something, but everything is an expression. That's all it is. It's an expression of spirit. So what you admire is an expression of the spirit inside of you that you want to express. And see, everybody's magnetized to a different kind of thing. Yes, they can be magnetized to certain things that are similar, but there's a degree of uniqueness. You negating that is like telling me that every fingerprint is the same. So look, I don't want to carry this on too much, but at the end of the day, what if every single thing that you're going through is a test? What if it's all a test? What if the test is based on your ability to have faith? What if all that you're missing right now is faith? Right? What if all you're missing is understanding? My camera was overheating, but what if that's it? Faith. Because you can choose to have fear, you can choose to have faith. What if all that's missing is understanding where that fear is coming from? What if what you're missing is understanding that doubt and worry comes by you not understanding? And when you understand, you have a chance. You have a chance at knowing that fear is inevitable. It's what happens when you choose to grow in life. And so all you need to do is make a decision. You know what you want. You know what you have to do. You just have to go through that fear. But at least you know. Fear comes to those who are moving in the direction that they should be. And there's a little bit of peace in that. Sometimes fear is your friend. Because if you're scared, that means you're doing something other than what it is that you're currently doing. And if you stay doing the same thing, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're disintegrating. Because the world is going to evolve around you and you're going to stay the same. Follow your heart and don't give in to fear. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you. I hope that everything works out. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Feel free to talk to me. Because there's one thing that I care most about, and that's seeing people go from where they're at to where they really want to go. Because remember, the hourglass is running, and you never know how much time you have left. The only moment that you can do anything is right now. So choose today. Choose a day to let go of your fears, to stop being controlled by your fears, and go towards what you really want to do. Be a good person, help others, and realize that the more that you grow, the more that you will see who you really are. Make sure you're a good person. God bless you. Thank you.